Can you hear me?
Absolutely, Shane. Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
I am walking with my kids. Smile, guys. Anyways, good job there, guys. I'm Shane Bales, Pro Action Health and Performance. So we're here to deal with all your aches and pains, concussion needs, and anything else that you might have some joint aches. Today, basically, had a patient come in for concussion stuff, but he's come in and he had a long bout with tenderness in the neck, the head, any movements, and he seemed to be getting a lot of like residual symptoms by just moving the head, which is kind of crazy. And he's always like, well, what's my diagnosis? And for me, it was just kind of an instability. And I was looking at it like literally these people would go and they get their hair like done at the hairdresser and then just leaning the head backwards. Any quick movements with the neck, and it would send them with dizziness, nausea, different things. So there's something called CCI, which is called basically cranio-cervical instability. And basically, what that means is the COC1 is kind of unstable a little bit, so they don't have as much um, stabilization. Now, that can be from ligament damage, tears, or even just overstretching it, where it doesn't come back. Because ligaments aren't like muscles; they don't have contractile tissue as much. So when they heal with scar tissue, and then they often are basically over elongated. So if you know people that have chronic sprains in their ankle, they're often spraining them over and over again. And those ligaments just be so laxity that you really have to train the muscles around it to get it better. Now, with this condition too, the cervical spine of the neck accounts for a lot of that dizziness and nausea that can happen even if there's no concussion involved. So with these people, you're looking at prolotherapy. Now, prolotherapy is something that you get injections for. It's like a saline solution, but it stiffens up the joint. So we do two different things. Sometimes you stiffen up the joint, and sometimes if it's so bad, you do something called a fusion. Now, somebody might have fusion in the low back when you're getting all kinds of back pain. You have disc injuries that are just keep reoccurring, or there's an instability that is in there as well. So when we're doing that, there's also the neck strengthening. So there's things called iron neck. We use Next Level, which I talked about last time. And we also use just regular isometric training accompanied by concentric muscle work and eccentric loading. Those things can all be helpful in this type of condition. And these people are always looking for answers, and it's something that can be helpful for them going forward to help maintain that stability. Because without surgery, you're really looking at just trying to strengthen that part of it and keeping things down. That's a really bad thing. I've even had people where going in the shower hurts their head because just the raindrops on it because they're over hypersensitized with that. Chiropractic wise, sometimes there's a thing called NUCA that can be helpful as well. I'm not trained in NUCA, so there are practitioners around Ottawa that also do that. Anyways, I hope that helps you. If any of your patients that have hypersensitivity or quick movement, just keep sending them in a whirlwind from dizziness, and they can get some help. Want any more answers? You can reach out to us at Pro Action Health and Performance, 613-505-5000. I'll leave my contact information in the chat so you guys can have better access to me. I'm Shane Bales, Pro Action Health and Performance. We see results, so should you. And for Tony's wife, it hurts so good.
Hey, Shane, thank you so much. That's a good parting kiss to the forehead. And we're live on LinkedIn, so there's the if you want to put some contact details in there to share that in the universe. The next other quick promo is Carl Richards has an event happening. If you sign up before April 6th, you get a discount. And you know, it's all about podcasting, and it's a quarterly meetup. I'm going to swing over to Kelly, and then I might probably go to Eric next. But I just want to make sure Eric knows that he's one of the up and coming. Kelly, what's happening, ma'am? And Eric, you're up next after Kelly. Kelly, the mute button is the. Oh, okay. And Eric, you know what?
Here we go.
Okay, Kelly. There we
Sorry,
go.
managed it. I do apologize. I'm obviously on my phone, so just managing to find it quickly. So thank you so much, Bernie. Hi, I'm Kelly Harrigan. I'm a sales representative, a real estate agent with Forest Hill Real Estate, and I work across Ottawa predominantly, and I still have clients in Toronto. I help clients navigate the real estate world with clarity and confidence. If they're buying their first home, I have a couple of first-time home buyers I'm working with now. If they're upsizing, downsizing, or investing, my approach is always very hands-on, very integrated, and it's data and strategy driven. So my clients always feel very informed. I really love educating my clients as we go along. There are so many questions and people don't know what they don't know. So I really do enjoy the aspect of helping educate them, which in turn empowers them to help them make their best, most well-informed decision, ultimately protecting them. I focus really heavily on understanding every client's needs, and I tailor the process just for them. No two clients are alike. No two situations are the same. So if you know anyone who's thinking about making a move, send them my way, please. Buying, selling, upsizing, downsizing, divorces, I'm here to help. I just went to market yesterday on 3 Mannington Court, a beautiful townhome in Barrhaven. And I've been working with our beautiful Kat, who's been helping me with some of my content and my social media. So thank you so much, Kat. More content to come today because we went to market yesterday. We got the professional photos. It looks sublime. So if you know anyone who's looking to buy in Barrhaven, this one's not going to last. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. Any BAMs or referrals?
BAM just with Catherine. We speak relatively often. I'm an active client of hers. I could not recommend her more. I do have an appointment with Shane, I think tomorrow or Wednesday to help with some sensitivity I've got in my head, neck, shoulders, and I have an issue with my hand. So that's it for now. And always more to come.
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next quick promo is Canada Growth Network. Stefan Stradek is talking. He's a leadership coach and transformation guide. Eric, over to you, sir. Good to see you. Good morning, and then we will swing over to Kat. Go ahead, Eric.
Good morning. We had 2 power failures last week in Canada, and I forgot to reset my alarm, and that's why I just remember that I had to get up this morning. Eric Sonego from Cote and Associates, professional corporation. We're accountants and management consultants. We're located in Canada. We do, at this time of the year, we do taxes. I personally do complicated taxes like the one I have here. This is called a T1135. And a T1135 is for people that have foreign income. Even if it's $15 and they give you one, you have to file it. If you don't file it because it happens to have $4.50, you can just put it somewhere else, it's $2,500 penalty. So if a bank sends you a T1135, file it. And you have to e-file it, by the way, separately to your tax return. We learned that the hard way 3 years ago. And because of that, we now make sure that every tax return that is done by the firm that has one of those, I do it so that I e-file it myself because I don't like to have upset clients. A typical client for me is someone with this kind of tax return, and when I'm not doing taxes, I'm doing year ends, financial statements, corporate taxes, and there, the government is more educated with that type of client, and we have more time to do it. 613-254-7310. We bring reason to numbers and numbers to reason. Last week, I finished a prolonged presentation to the Tax Court of Canada on behalf of our former Phoenix client, and we got the acceptance from the court that they have everything they wanted. That case took 3.5 years for this firm to do, back and forth to the tax court. 3.5 years. So don't go to the tax court. It's a long, expensive process. 613-254-7310. Everything else will be on the chat line. Thanks.
Eric, when you say foreign income, are you talking about you've sent a bill, or you have business generating out in the foreign in a foreign country that sends you money?
You have investments, even though they're in Canada. They're in foreign land. You can do that. You can have self-directed RSPs that buy foreign assets. You have that kind of stuff. You haven't left your country, but the place that you're doing the investments with has sent you a T1135. You have to have gotten one of these forms to be able to be in trouble. Now, when I say that, I don't mean that you have to physically have gotten it. It has to have been filed with the government. So if you go to your account and you see that they're giving you one of these, put it in your tax return and file it, because if you don't file it, it's going to be expensive.
Eric, thank you. The hidden pearls of knowledge
Yes.
and experience. Love it. All right. Tomorrow at East Tradewinds, Robin Ayoub is speaking, and he's a CRO and AI strategist. Come on in. East Tradewinds is free to attend. Kat, over to you, ma'am.
Open your mind to new possibilities, ones that truly recharge and reset your life. What if balance wasn't something you had to chase, but something you created with intention? Learn how to create real-life balance, uncover the limiting beliefs that are holding you back, and discover how to release these beliefs and move forward with clarity. Join Penny Lee for her transformative Recharge and Reset experience on Sunday, April 26th. Your reset will start here, and I'll drop you a link to her workshop in the chat box. Thank you, Bernie.
Well, Kat, you're absolutely welcome. And you know what? Details about Kat, and reach out to her. If you got events that are coming up, she'll help promote it through the social media channels of Phoenix. I'm going to swing the mic over to Sam and then Jacqueline. Sam, over to you, sir. What's happening?
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday to you all. Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. There's my contact information in the chat. Let's see here. Well, my main thing is dash cameras, as you probably know, and I want to start out with, first of all, commending Tony with his wardrobe this morning. He's very chic. Love the outfit there, Tony. Kind of reminds me of somebody else. Anyway, besides doing dash cameras, I also do minor repairs at cars, oil changes, brake jobs, and it's tire season coming up, folks. If you haven't inspected those summer tires, you better do it soon. And I recommend booking your appointment coming up, I would say mid-April, to get those winter tires off and get your summer tires on before they start getting too warm and start wearing down quickly. That's what you want to do, because the winter tires are a softer rubber, and when it gets warm, as we see in come May, those tires will start to wear down considerably. So book your summer tire installation. You can do that with me, or if you want to go to someone else. I warn people not to go to these drive-in places, because you sit in line for hours and hours and hours. I don't recommend them, because often the people doing your tires don't know a lot about cars, don't know much about tires. They'll just slam them on. So just be wary, careful with those people. Anyway, Sam Sturz, connectedcars.ca. Today's mobile electronics without the cost of a new vehicle, and a heck of a lot more. No BAMs for me right now, Bernie.
Sam, thank you so much. Next quick reminder, at Bistro and at Hive, April 22nd. It's a live event in that space. Jacqueline, hello.
Good morning, everyone. And I know for a fact you took a long, deep breath. You lifted your shoulders, you took them back, and you released them down. You went, it is sunshiny out there and spring is coming. And today I get to say it's tomorrow. I am with this conference celebrating International Women's Month. So it's the last day of International Women's Month, and it's about a meaningful connection, and talking about a restorative walk. Canadian Women in Communication Technology, once upon a time, I was the chair, and we did extraordinary things. We keep opening wide, and I invite all of you to come out and play. Free parking, happy hallelujah. And it is like a speed networking with coaches. So When I'm not working with my mortgage clients, offering them mortgage opportunities and scenarios, I'm always looking to identify new options that are there for not just me, but for everyone. So when you're looking for solutions for your mortgage money, you need to contact Wait Your Mortgage Honey. And thank you very much, Bernie. I love East Trade Wins on our Tuesdays. Very much appreciate it. And I did have a conversation with Wendy last week, and looking forward to maybe meeting a whole lot of people here and tomorrow and the next day. It's a busy week. Have a good one.
Jacqueline, thank you so much. Mike Wazowski also provides stand-in services, as does Kat. Does too. So just keep that in mind. If you can't make a meeting, have someone represent you. Kat's actually going to be covering for me while I'm away between April 1st to April 9th. And Tony, crystallize our day.
Yeah. Thanks a lot there, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I am the crystal or the medium or spirit guy of the group. And I've been wanting to redo my website for quite some time. I've been talking to Josh about giving certain pointers, and he led me in the right direction. So I spent a weekend to be able to give people the clarity of how to use crystals. Most people will say, well, what do these crystals do? Well, where do I apply them? On all of those things. So what we did, I'm just going to share the screen real quick here, just to give you an idea of how we did that in our website. So this is our website, lovehigherself.com, and the first page that you see here is called Crystal Prescriptions. So when you click that, basically you'll get a page that'll have all of the crystals in here and what they do. So basically you're looking at whether it's depression, EMF waves, whatever it is, overcoming some fears, you have a hard time concentrating, and just basically you just click the crystal that's on there, and it tells you a little bit of the story of what that crystal is all about, and maybe some other products that could help with it at the same time. Okay, so this is a great little tool you can have, attracting romance or attracting wealth. There's so many things that crystals can do. One in particular that is always a big surprise is a crystal called serpentine. Now that's this one over here. This particular crystal actually helps with parasites in your body. Having some on the right side of your body basically will help with a lot of the radicals that are going through your body. So here's a little explanation of what it does. But that's what we did over this weekend. So it only took about 100 hours, so it's all good in that way. And so we're looking at expanding our crystal selection over the next while. We have a number of suppliers that we're looking at to expand that. So because people are always asking of how they could look at getting something they could wear on themselves to help with them in their everyday life. So Tony Jennis from Higher Self, we are here to raise your spirits and your crystals. Thanks. And as far as BAMs go, Ellen, my wife, is still going to Shane. She's coming home and she's feeling a lot better. Her mobility is far better, Shane. Thank you very much for working with her. So on the second day, she feels really great. When she comes in, she's still limping, but I guess, some things have to be moved around. Ongoing business with Josh and Kelly. We had a BAM with Kelly a while back. Penny Lee, and had another BAM with Sandy, our dog whisperer, and I sent her a referral. Someone was looking for getting an aggressive dog and wanted to sort of train the dog, and that because it was out of hand. So Sandy was a good match there. Okay, and back to you, Bernie.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. And so my name's Bernie. I've connected to East Trade Winds, Canada Growth Network, and Act for Business podcast, what's it all about? It is a community of cross connections. So I use the podcasting to help connect other businesses and offer opportunities, to get their message out there and also connect with us. Usually, some podcast guests end up in East Trade Winds. That's why we're booked out into December, and Canada Growth Network is booked out till almost the end of September. So there's always interesting people out there that have interesting stories. I've already posted that Robin Ayoub and Stefan Surdek are speaking, and that's just an example of them. I'll post in the chat a blog if you want to see. It's called blog.knackforbusiness.com, and you can see some of the past speakers either in there or in the Knack for Business. I started doing that in February. Want to know more about a CMS? Let me know. I'll walk you through it. And you know what? Without much more ado, the tech expert, the Yoda for your IT, is about to speak. Josh, the mic is yours, sir. Have at her.
Morning, folks. I'm Josh Lamb from Sterling Grace Tech. Thanks for the intro, Bernie. Yeah, and I'm speaking to you today about IT things. So I have a little presentation that half of you were here about 8:05 when we were still testing stuff to make sure it works. And hopefully I'm a little more awake now. But if I'm not, then I will make you join me, boring you to tears with Tech Talk. So let's do this. Here we go. So everybody see my PowerPoint? Good. I'm going to assume that's a yes. Everybody's muted.
Yeah,
so
you're up and running.
Cool. So what do we do? We do IT.
You're not, Josh. I apologize. You are showing your slide deck plus the
Yeah, I know
Are
it's
you
not
good?
in full screen mode yet. Maybe I'll put it into full screen mode, I guess. So yeah, I was
Good.
going to
You're
keep
up
it
and
open,
running.
but that's fine. What do? We do IT. Half of that is managed services, which is anything from, solopreneurs who are contractors working sometimes for other contractors who they have, the needs of people who want to get their technology to stop being a time suck. And especially if they're a one-person show, there's no one else that they can lean on in their company. And so we help those people. And then we have kind of medium-sized businesses and a couple larger businesses. And so it's for the medium and larger size. If you've got a server, then you've got in-house infrastructure and you need a disaster recovery plan. You need remote support for that kind of stuff. Sometimes you need on-site support. And then for bigger clients that have on-site IT people already, we can be an augment to that team. So sometimes they're either constrained by budget and they don't have the budget to hire a new full-time person, and they need to be able to leverage essentially the equivalent of a full-time person. And so we can offer that. Sometimes it's expertise. The next slide here is to tell you a little bit about our team, and I have 6 team members, including myself. I am very proud of all of them. They're all talented specialists in what they do. And so we take on the overhead of training, of education, of making sure that our team are up to date with all the latest and greatest developments in various fields of tech. And so we are able to be leveraged in that sense. And so you might find too that your company doesn't know how to manage IT because you don't have that expertise in house. And so that we become a kind of full-fledged IT department that does all the things that an IT department should do that you might not even know about as the owner of your business. And so that leaves you to have a little bit less stress because you don't have to be getting the pulse of the current IT industry. You don't have to be keeping track of like, oh, what's the latest training and what are my technologies in my office going to need for an understanding of them in my IT team. We manage that kind of thing. And so those are kind of our main models in our managed services side. MSP is the term in our industry, and it stands for managed service provider. And it's basically just saying you've got an IT department outsourced. They have tools that they use, that we use, and basically industry best practices are employed. We select the right tools for the job, and we standardize things across your office. So yeah, so this is my team. I'm me, founded in 2009 as a web dev firm, building websites with my sister, Melanie Grace. And the Sterling is my middle name, and her middle name is Grace, and that's where the name of the company comes from. And she has since left in order to pursue her dream, which was opening a tattoo shop in Kentville. And by the way, if you're interested in tattoos, she is a phenomenal artist, and I highly recommend her. Blackbird Tattoo on Facebook, look it up. I've got Matt here with me, who is our network admin, talented network specialist. Carlos, who some of you may have met, Ottawa-based, and he deals with software and technical support. He also deals with dev support, which is basically tech support for custom software and web services. And then Susan is our office admin, and any of you who have dealt with our billing and that kind of thing have dealt with Susan as well. And she's a very skilled project manager as well. And then we've got Josh Hyde and Parth, and they are also the kind of our tier one people who they help us fielding our service desk stuff. And so Parth is more focused on the web development side and custom software side, and Josh is more focused on technology support, IT support, that kind of thing. So yeah, so we have, a use case where just trying to demonstrate to you what the cost is of doing a DIY tech solution where you're not prepared because you don't know how to be prepared. And so we have this example of a 10-person firm not being able to access their server. Their data on their server is a critical thing that takes them down. And they've still got people on payroll. They're still paying those people money. But they're not able to be productive. They're losing sales. Walk-ins are happening and they're failing to happen. They're walking back out. And so this just gives you kind of a breakdown. And so for this particular firm being down for kind of a day without having the ability to use their server, you end up with it costing them $5,300. And so when you're looking at it through those kinds of terms, bringing on an MSP to manage this and to plan this properly so that you can get back in business as soon as possible, it becomes the insurance policy that you really don't want to do without. The threat landscape is pretty aggressive these days, and so we have a number of different mechanisms to detect things that might be threatening to your systems and to make sure that we've got you locked down and secure. The traditional IT services. So basically, how do we answer each of these issues? The lack of accountability. So we have a service agreement. We guarantee that we will, if you have an SLA for a deluxe client, we'll get back to you within 4 hours, business hours. If it's an emergency, we get back to you within 1 business hour. And at the very least, we start the assessment and work on a solution and come to an agreed upon time that we're going to work on it and finish the resolution with you. Unpredictable IT costs. Again, our deluxe plan is like a set it and forget it. It's a 1 cost per month, and then your team can all call us and just get support without having to worry about any additional IT bills, time and materials bills. It is what it is. Monthly, you pay a set rate. Chronic IT issues. So we have our monitoring solution in place that watches for things that go wrong before they go wrong so that we can take proactive approaches to making sure that stuff gets fixed. And then looking at downtime costs and misaligned objectives. So again, I think that our deluxe plan, especially where you pay 1 set bill a month, We have proactive things that we can do for your business, and you don't have to worry about negotiating with us to do those things. They just get done, which means in cases where you're paying time and materials, a lot of people will try to budget and they will say, well, I don't understand these proactive things, and so I don't want to pay for them, and let's wait. And that's why that model tends to be called break fix, because most of the time people just wait till something's broken before they fix it. And so that's basically frustrations with traditional IT services. I'm conscious of the fact that we need to be aware of time here, so I might jump ahead a little bit here. Just at a quick glance, we assess your network during our onboarding. We get to a state where we manage your network and protect it with our tech stack. And then we move into optimization, which is the other half of our business, which is software integration. So we look at ways that we can save you time and money, automate repetitive tasks so that you can leverage your team to do the things that humans do best rather than the things that computers can do for you, which is building your relationships, building your profitability, and just basically building up your business. So this is the 1 monthly fee we had talked about. I want to go to yes. So the onboarding process includes a technology audit, and we have an essentials audit, which is, I think, very affordable and is a good entry point for businesses that have a IT footprint, but it's not a big one, and they just want to get kind of an idea of best practices, recommendations. But we also have a deluxe audit, which is a complete audit of technology and security software settings in your network, together with a Get Healthy plan that comes out of that. Basically, it's a 97 point. I should really find 3 more things so I can round her up to 100. But basically, it's a 97 point audit about all the things in your network that you may or may not know about, and comparing them to the standards of best practices for your security, for your peace of mind. And we identify all kinds of things, like you've got a network appliance, a NAS, a network attached storage, where you have your network shares, and maybe it hasn't been updated in 7 years, and it's open to all kinds of vulnerabilities. And so we can see that when we do our audit, and we can tell you, this is what you need to do to fix that. Whether it be, the thing is so old, it's carved out of stone and you need to buy something modern, guys. Or it might be just that, the firmware that's on it hasn't been updated because nobody knows how. When it goes too long without being updated, sometimes you need to go through processes that can cause your data to disappear. And so you need to take more care and proaction with that to basically back up all the data first so that you can update the security settings in the back end, the firmware, and then restore things to get it back to where it was. And that's usually an after hours kind of job. So we find all kinds of things with this audit, and then we give you your urgency high, your urgency medium, your urgency low, which are usually the bells and whistles, the nice to haves. But things cost money, and this allows you to budget too and say, okay, I don't want to go overboard in the beginning. In this example, this is like, it cost this person $3,300 to get to a sane state. It also demonstrates, if they have a deluxe package, what kind of savings you can expect, because some of this work ends up being in scope for the deluxe packages. So that's our audit. What else do I want to talk about? Our RMM solution. So this is the software we install on your machine. Keeps your machine safe. It checks for your software being updated. It has a component that is either antivirus for our basics clients, or for our deluxe clients, we use what's called an EDR, an endpoint detection and response, which is SentinelOne. And that's basically like AI powered antivirus, where it can see things that suspicious software are doing, even if the antivirus community doesn't know about the signature to identify that yet. That's traditional antivirus, uses like a fingerprint of viruses that have already been discovered in the wild. And so if you happen to be in the first like million or so computers that get infected before they know what these signatures are, and you download them with your weekly Bitdefender antivirus or your Norton or whatever, then you might be just in those 0-day crowd that get smoked. And so SentinelOne watches for behavior of software that's on your computer, sees, okay, This software isn't on the security list, but it's trying to make weird writes to the Windows registry, or it's trying to start doing things to the operating system like, oh, it's encrypting files, and I didn't ask it to encrypt files. Those weren't initiated by the user. Let's just put a pause on that. And so we find that the Sentinel-1 solution is way more secure. And we're talking, like a 90% versus 99%. So it's not to say that antivirus isn't secure, but if you're looking for rock solid and you want to get a deluxe contract with us, then Sentinel-1 is the way to go. We resell Microsoft 365. We have a whole bunch of different technologies. And as we're running short on time, if you're interested in knowing what any of these things are, I'd love to talk to you about them after the fact. So if you're looking for technology solutions so that you can get back to doing what you do best and let us take care of the things that stress you out in the tech world, then I am your contact, and Sterling Grace Tech is your answer. So thanks for listening to me, and I hope you guys all have a great week. Thank you.
Josh, thank you. Does anybody have a question for Josh? So his services run in so one of the reasons you'd want to utilize Josh's services from the antivirus point of view, you'll spend that much money on antivirus alone in a given year. So it stays up and running. And then if you go the full package, that way if things go slipping and sliding, you have an older machine, older setup. There you go. You have resources that are taken care of.
Just as a comment for Josh, for years we were trying to get out of one contract. We were with GoDaddy at the very beginning, and Phoenix, as the website grew, and it did, we always added new pages and new things. It got more and more complicated to migrate that to another server, another place. But Josh made it so easy. He did that, and we were right actually halfway through one of the contracts. He says, "Don't worry about it. Let's get you moved over, and then we at least you have a more control, because we had no control. If something happened on the weekend and the Phoenix site was down, I'd have to wait till Monday." And now I just send Josh something, and within minutes, sometimes it would be up and running. And so, Josh, for that, I know the commitment it takes to do that. It's not nothing small. It's definitely something that that is just very much valued, because we want our members to have access to the site. And when that goes down, it doesn't so much cost us a lot of money, but it's sort of it's an irritation when we have calendars and we have different things in place, and they can't get in, and even the emails won't work because it's tied to the website as well. So for that, thank you. And we've also moved our own site for Hire Self over to Josh's system, because it's for like what is it, $50 a month or something, and it's all taken care of. If anything, if it ever goes down, it's we have a complete replication of our site, and it's getting big now. We have added almost 100 pages to our site, and so that was fun, and yeah, it was really good, So.
Yeah,
So
I would also like to interject there that that's a security and backup management package. So our hosting just by itself is actually substantially cheaper than that. So, and I
Yeah.
think that everybody should have some kind of backup solution, because you never know when your website is going to get hacked. And if it gets defaced and you don't have a backup, you are starting from square one. So anyway, yeah, thanks for the shout out, guys. Much appreciated.
Well, that's a good way to refresh your website, get it hacked, reload.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's nothing to
Panic button.
motivate you to redesign your website like not having the old one because it blew up.
Yeah.
No, that's not the way to do it. That's not the graceful way to do it.
Yeah. As a side story, so there's a thing on the internet called the Wayback Machine. Most people don't know about it, but it's a tool kind of like Google. that scans the whole internet, and it makes copies of every website and like basically like snapshots over time. And so sometimes when a website gets smoked, we can go back and actually see how it looked during the last secure backup. Now, if you have like a dynamic WordPress site or a site like Tony's, unfortunately, it can't get into your back end and figure out all that stuff. But at the very least, you can see what it looked like to the public. And so sometimes it's really helpful because you can just copy the HTML and dump it, and you might not have your WordPress site, but at least you got the placeholder of this is what your site looked like before this bad stuff went down, while we look for a new solution, which might be a full WordPress rebuild, you know. So yeah, it's an interesting side note. So
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to close this off with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Most of the shadows of this life are caused by standing in one's own sunshine.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
mhm.
Awesome.
That's a good